Welcome. This is Back to the Bins. I'm your host, Mr. B. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you've been here before, thanks so much for coming back. And if you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by. This is a comic book collecting channel, and I'm a comic collector. These Sunday posts are intended to showcase the pulls I picked up just this past week. Every once in a while, I get some good stuff out of the dollar bins as well as the back issue bins. I've got a great pull list, so I've got current stuff as well to showcase. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, why don't you take a look over here, and I'll show you what I picked up. Alright, like I said, these are the books I picked up just this past week at my local comic shop, 204 Comics, located in Winnipeg. I got some fantastic pulls. I also got some fantastic stuff out of the dollar bin. So let's take a look, and as always, we start in alphabetical order, and that takes us to the Avengers. That's right, folks, this is the Avengers number 17. A beautiful Pablo Villalobos variant with Storm on the cover. I started collecting this when it came out. I have the first 12 issues, and then I just decided I was going to shift. I knew I'd like this team, although the team has now changed. But when I saw this cover, I just couldn't resist. I had to get it. I love it. I love Storm. I think it's great. Villalobos' work I also love. One of my favorite modern artists working. Just great stuff like that. Not going to read it strictly for a cover. I also had this. You see there's a solid line up here. I'm going to see if the LCS can press that out, because I don't like seeing that. Anyway, moving along, and still from the pulls, we got a great cover here. This is Batman number 151, Del Auto Batman 85th Anniversary cardstock variant. Beautiful. Love that little Batman 85 logo. Just check that out. Just fantastic stuff. Of course, Chip Zdarsky still writing this particular title, and I'm just collecting this for the covers. I was going to stop at 150, but as long as Del Auto and the rest of the cover artists and variants are as good as these ones, I think I'm just going to keep going. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Great cover, though. Great cover. And Batman, 85 years. Pretty cool. Staying with DC and moving into one of my favorites as well, another issue or another title that I'll be ending shortly. This is Birds of Prey number 12. This is a Leonardo Romero. This is just the cover A. I think it's fantastic. Romero is one of my favorite modern artists as well, and this is a completely different style from what we're used to, but I think it works. It's still his style, and it's still something very different. I love this book. The covers are making me stick around a little bit longer. There's nothing wrong with this. I would highly recommend this book. Start at number 1. Maybe look for the trade when it comes out. But I have loved this book, but I don't want to keep collecting a mass amounts of these runs. There's other things that I want to collect, so I'm just putting the brakes on Birds of Prey as well. But it's been such a fun book. The other problem with collecting this particular title is there's always great variants, and this is one of them. This is David Nakayama. Another great artist. Love following him on Instagram. He's active. He'll say thank you and compliment his work. Yeah, and I just love the look here of Big Barda and Batgirl. They're two of my favorite characters from this particular lineup in Birds of Prey. I never knew Birds of Prey before, and I'm really glad that I picked it. I really love everything about them. Super fun. I'd love to see a movie, Birds of Prey. Sticking around with the polls this week, but moving into Marvel. Here we go. Daredevil number 12. That is a Nebetse Zitro variant. I was going to stop at number 12, but Del Auto is putting out a variant for 13. So we're going to collect all 13, and then maybe one day, because that's where I'm going to stop, I collected this title strictly for the covers. Maybe we'll do a little showcase of all 13 issues, the first 13 of this Daredevil run. I love this. There's a bit of a cartoon look here. There's also some great realism, and I love the medium that it was done with. I don't know if it's paint or if it's done through a computer. I'm not entirely sure, but I love the shine of everybody's outfits. It's super cool. I love this a lot, actually. Here's a book that keeps on giving from Image. This is The Deviant, number 7. It's a Josh Hickson cover. Of course, James Tinian doing the writing. This is a 9-issue series, so this is number 7. We got 2 more. This has been so good. It's about a lunatic killer, all kinds of creepy stuff, and it all has to do around the holidays. And I love Christmas. I love everything about the holidays, the music, the movies, the food, all of that. This is a series, once I've got it complete, that I'm going to put out on the coffee table throughout the holidays, even just for people to look at the covers. I think this is super awesome. This is a fantastic book. I think when the trade comes out, I'm sure the cover of it will be fantastic as well. Look for this if you can. I have really loved this book. Oh yeah, here we go. The Dollar Bins. Once again, we got a little GI Combat from DC. This is issue number 188 from March of 1976. Got a Louis Dominguez cover. You gotta love the Haunted Tank. So cool. This is like a really bad shape. Obviously, you can see that, but I love these covers. I love just all of these great World War II action comics. So this is just sort of a run filler. We'll see how many more I can find in the dollar bins. I'm not going to be looking for high-grade copies of this. Certainly if I found one that was better than this one, you know, it's got all kinds of stuff going on with it, but whatever. Super cool. Back on the pull list and over to DC again, we have Gotham Sirens number 1. That's a Ji Hyung Lee cardstock variant. I love this. Catwoman looks fantastic. I'm a sucker for all of these, like, just people in poses, covers. I just love faces. I love how all of it can look. And so many artists today make these fantastic, realistic looking covers. And this is just beautiful stuff. It's not as real as others, but I mean, it's still a realistic looking cover. And if I'm gonna read this first issue just to see what it is, if it doesn't impress me, I should say, I'll just keep collecting the covers because there are just fantastic covers. And I love a series where every issue of it has a variant done by the same artist. So I'm gonna get all 4 Ji Hyung Lee variant covers. Awesome. Then moving right along on the pull list, but this time, still from Image, but the Energon universe, which has been fantastic. This is Scarlet number 3, Marcio Takara variant. This has been a fun book so far. What a beautiful cover. I love Scarlet. Always loved her outfit, especially, you know, the G.I. Joe comic or the G.I. Joe toys in the cartoon. When it was usually just this outfit, whereas in the comic maybe she'd change a little bit, but this is great. I love it. I love seeing Storm Shadow in the background. This is great, and a great book full of like ninja action, which takes me right back to 1987. This is just fun to have. Great series still. I know that some people don't like it in comparison to a lot of the other stuff in the Energon universe, but nothing wrong with it at all. Oh yeah, heading back over to the dollar bins, we got our good pal Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. This is issue number 120 from July of 1974. This is a 50-year-old comic right here, folks. 50-year-old. Love it. Happy birthday. That's a Larry Lieber cover, and I love collecting these Sergeant Fury comics. This is where, in these high numbers, where they start to reprint old issues. So this is probably one. I think it is. If it's not, the next one that I have here is, but that's okay. I really want to look at maybe getting issues 1 to 100. I don't know about number 1, but I just keep picking them up as I find them. Like I said, we found 2 in the old dollar bins. This thing looks like it had been through the war. This is Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, issue number 125 from March of 1975. It's Dick Ayers doing the cover here. This is a reprinting of Sergeant Fury number 23, back when Stan Lee was doing the writing of this book. But again, I can't say no to a good Sergeant Fury or any sort of 60s, 70s, early 80s World War II comic. Just fun to have. Love it. Yeah, and then we go back into the pull list, over to Dynamite. Beautiful Dynamite cover right here. This is Space Ghost number 4. Again, the Bjorn Barons variant. I'm collecting all of the Barons variants that he's doing throughout this series. This is better than expected. we're still early on in the run, so if you're interested in, space capers, superpowers, or powers in general, science fiction, kind of for you, I think. And it's been fun. Like I said, better than expected, and these beautiful covers are at least a consolation prize if the writing goes south. And continuing with the pull list, but back over to Marvel. I know a lot of people really liked this cover. This is the Spectacular Spider-Men, number 6, done by Elizabeth Tork right here. This is an homage variant, obviously. This is an homage to Uncanny X-Men, number 141 from 1981. From the Days of Future Past run, originally done by John Byrne, but here we have this new one. And I really love this. You know what? I was waiting to see if there were going to be more of these homage variants down the pipeline, because I was going to just keep collecting them. I'd love to have this run. I think it ends here. The next issue, there is no homage, and the next one, there is no homage. So, I think I've said that word differently now. Anyway. So I'm going to stop. And because I didn't see that there was one while I was doing my pull list, I actually didn't pick one for issue 7. So the next one that's coming, which is relatively soon, well, I guess in a month, I can't get because the cutoff was already. So that's okay. We got 6 issues of homages, and maybe we'll do a focus on those one day too. Maybe a short or something. That'd be fun. Oh yeah, back to Dynamite. And here we have Thundercats Shitara, issue number 2. This is a beautiful cover by Rebecca Puebla. She is one of my favorite modern artists as well. She did Maleficent. She did a Vampirella series that I had. Maybe I'll show you those Vampirella covers because those are fantastic as well. That was what got me into Puebla here. But I just love her work. I was happy to see her doing this. I was also hoping that there'd be more covers by her. There isn't so far, so a little disappointed. Book has been okay. That first issue was kind of cool. Wasn't too bad. Going to see where it goes from here. Kind of neat to see some of the history of Thundercats. It was one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. And again, at least I got a great Rebecca Puebla cover. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the dead horse. We've got Ultimate Spider-Man number 1. This is the 7th printing, the Marco Cicchetto cover, Jonathan Hickman writing. This has been a fantastic series. I have 4 of the printings, and because I've already got more than half, I'm going to find the other 3 that I need. This is a fantastic looking Spider-Man. I just think this is gorgeous. Those colors are so beautiful. Again, this is worthy of slabbing because it's so, so nice. Beautiful. And I can't help myself collecting these number 1 printings over and over again. Here's number 1 I think everybody had been really waiting for. The Uncanny X-Men number 1. This is a Luciano Vecchio Rogue variant. I love Vogue. I love Rogue, and I really got into her during the original X-Men cartoon. And I'm not an X-Men fan in the same way I'm a Spider-Man fan, but in terms of understanding their importance to Marvel, I'm quite interested in learning more about them and reading about them. So I'm really loving Ultimate X-Men by Peach Momoko. Might be because I love Momoko's work, and I'm really hoping that Uncanny X-Men is going to be fantastic because I love this team. And I'll show you this team because I also had to get a variant cover. Look at this. Uncanny X-Men number 1, Steven Segovia variant, just beautiful. I love this cover so much. Look at that team. It's simple, but it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to reading this, and there's a lot of great covers. This could be a contender for cover of the year, as could the Rogue one. Just fantastic stuff. I'm looking forward to digging into this. Now, there were a couple of other comics that I picked up, and unfortunately, I didn't realize I had them. So we're not going to pay as much attention to these as the last ones, but these I got from the dollar bins. Fantastic Four, the 20th anniversary of the Fabulous Fantastic Four, issue number 236. Yeah, I found it in the dollar bins. Didn't realize I had a much nicer copy already. I should have checked my League of Comic Geeks because that's where I've got all my books stored. But yeah, oh well. I'm going to go through this. There's a great, I think it's the, is it the middle? Yeah, we got this great image. 2-page spread of Doctor Doom. Love that. You know how hot Doctor Doom is right now. I love that. Might cut that out and do something else with it. Just awesome. John Byrne doing the work there. And this one I found in the dollar bins as well and didn't realize I had it. So again, who knows? Might cut it up, might do something with it. This is the double-sized annual, issue number 19 from 1985, guest starring the Avengers, the war to end all Skrulls. Oh well, whatever. We've all got doubles. And that's everything, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw, and how about we get back to the real world, shall we? Well, that was a great collection of books. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe? It really helps to build the channel, and I'd love to develop a community of people who just really love comics. Thanks so much for joining me today. We'll see you next week, and until then, remember, comics are good.